Flexible steel is the best way to get clean and crisp edges in your garden. It's been available for decades and is rightly very popular. But now a new product has joined the market from a trusted name in gardens. Birdies flexible steel edging is taking its place with great design and engineering to make domestic installations easy and transformative. It arrives in 2.4 metre long strips, along with separate pegs and joining plates, all ready to install. All you need are a few everyday tools, which are listed in the accompanying instruction sheet. Today, we'll replace these concreted-in pavers that have become swamped by grass with Birdies flexible steel garden edging. I've chosen 150mm height in the stylishly rusty finish of Core 10. Though it's worth noting that it will arrive looking dark grey, and then as it is exposed to rain over time, it will start to create its impermeable patina of rust that will seal it for life. After we've removed the old pavers, we'll mark our exact edge shape and location by running out a builder's line, held in place by these line pegs. The ground here is very hard and compacted, so it will need softening up with water before we start. Now we'll cut our edge with either a spade or a half-moon edger. Then we just clean up the edge to get it precisely where we want it and as vertical as possible. If there's obstacles in the way, then ensure they're removed. Roots, in this case, need to be clipped. Some more watering now to help the securing pegs penetrate this very hard soil. Then we lay out the strips next to the builder's line and insert the steel pegs under the top edge lip. You'll see there are 3 securing holes that indicate where the pegs need to be. 3 per strip. Now you can attach the pegs in advance using your self-tapping screws into the pre-drilled holes. I'd only do this though if your soil is nice and soft. In my case, it's as hard as nails, so I will insert each peg into the soil and secure them with screws later. I'm keeping the pegs as straight and vertical as I can, tapping them in place first, then using the wood buffer block for the final heavier blows. Now it's important to ensure you have an even height, so I've made a wooden guide, in this case ensuring that my 150mm strip has 65mm buried and 85mm remain exposed. This technique is so much easier than trying to juggle a tape measure for every peg. Then we can simply lift each strip into place by sliding the peg under the top edge lip and knocking it down into place. Or you can join strips together in advance with the joining plates. Always screw from the back to the front. You can allow the self-tapping screws to do all the work, but I prefer to pre-drill with a metal drill bit after I've secured the strip and joining plate with the grip wrench. Always use 4 screws to secure it. One way or another, you'll have a solid join that will hold fast for a lifetime. And the protruding screws are so close to the bottom edge, they'll always be buried and therefore not visible. Screw the pegs to the edging strip, again always from the back to the front. Now there'll probably be some minor height adjustments to make. A hammer for downwards and the grip wrench to raise it a little. Backfilling is important. Rake the substrate up close and pack it down hard. On the front edge we suggest sand to fill any gaps, as it helps the strip gain access to oxygen as well as water, both vital for the Core 10 to create its rust patina. Now for the finishing. In this case, pine bark mulch. A generous application right up to the top looks best. And one last watering in. Now you might not have a project that exactly fits multiples of 2.4 meters, so you may need to cut a piece to fit. Here the angle grinder comes into play. This can also come in handy if you have slope changes to contend with, allowing you to cut some angle joins to compensate. From straight lines to gentle curves and tighter corners, flexible steel edging does it all, providing a barrier to grass while keeping substrates separate. Birdies garden edging is made in Australia and available in Corten and galvanised finishes in a variety of heights. Birdies flexible steel is the best way to create clean, crisp and permanent lines in your garden.